But when you look at the satellite, it is just terrifying for our friends that are in the northern Bahamas. We're talking about Abaco Islands and also Grand Bahama Island, where they are now facing a Category 5 hurricane. Winds at 160 miles per hour, making this a Category 5. And zooming in a little bit closer here to the eye, it has completely cleared itself out over the last 24 to 48 hours and has become perfectly symmetrical. And that's not good news, because now it's looking like exactly what Michael looked like as Michael was making landfall in Mexico Beach and Panama City up near Tyndall Air Force Base in the Panhandle. So this is the Great Abaco Island. Winds now picking up to hurricane force here. The extreme winds are about 10 miles outside of the center. That's the 150, 160 mile per hour winds, and that will start to approach the Abaco Island area as we go to about noon today. Then after it crosses the Abaco Islands, it's heading over to Grand Bahama Island, where Freeport has a population of 26,000 people. It's the biggest population center here across this section of the islands that will likely take a direct hit from this massive hurricane. And it's only going to be less than 100 miles offshore of Florida's east coast as we get into tomorrow. So we've got some concerns, major concerns for our friends in the Bahamas, because as Futurecast shows, this thing is going to continue to slowly move towards the west, and eventually it's going to stall once it gets over towards Grand Bahama Island. However, will it stall there, or will it stall closer to the beaches here off of West Palm Beach or south to Fort Lauderdale? That's the question that we don't know, and the National Hurricane Center still doesn't know. So the cone of uncertainty extends from Fort Lauderdale all the way well offshore, which means that Florida's east coast is still a possibility for Dorian before it makes that north turn. So our friends down southeast of us, they still have to be concerned with this, just as if it were potentially moving closer to them, because that chance is still there. However, Tampa Bay not included in the cone of uncertainty, the exception extreme sections of eastern sections of Polk County, where we could see tropical storm force gusts. But I think honestly any of us could see tropical storm force gusts as some bands rotate in our area coming up in the next couple of days. So tropical storm warnings are now up for the coast from Deerfield Beach north to Sebastian Inland, and then we're looking at, of course, hurricane warnings for the islands that we were talking about that are about to take a direct hit from this Cat 5 hurricane. So back here at home, again, no hurricane concerns here in Tampa Bay, given the latest forecast tracks from the National Hurricane Center. We'll still watch winds coming in out of the east and off of the Atlantic, and that easterly wind will give us the shower and thunderstorm chance today, just like we saw yesterday. And then as Dorian starts to get closer and eventually makes that north turn somewhere here off the east coast, again, it's less than 200 miles away from us. Tropical storm force winds extend out 105 miles. So I don't think we'll have sustained tropical storm force winds here in Tampa Bay, but as some of those bands set up for us over the next couple of days, we could see gusts over 40 miles per hour. That would certainly be a potential for us. And